Have you ever thought about what would happen if a Tyrannosaurus rex was roaming our cities? Or if there was a giant shark as big as a school bus hiding in our oceans? Can an ancient monster prevail against modern lions, great white sharks, or eagles? In this journey back to the past, we will get to know the 10 ancient apex predators that could surpass the strongest animals of today. Get ready, because these monsters have the size, bite force, and hunting skills that make today's kings of the food chain look small. Which of these extinct predators would truly reign in the modern world? Let's find out. But before we start, if you're new to our channel, make sure to subscribe so you'll always be updated with videos like this. Number 10. Titanoboa. Meet the Titanoboa, an enormous boa that lived around 60 million years ago. Based on the fossils found, it could reach 42 to 47 feet, or 12.8 to 14.3 meters in length and weigh up to 1.1 tons. It's bigger than any snake alive today. Because of its massive body, it moved slower compared to modern snakes. However, it was an apex ambush predator that dominated the hot swamps. Its scales and spine resembled those of modern boas, but they were tougher and stronger, giving it the ability to wrap around and constrict large prey. During its time, Titanoboa likely waded in the water before suddenly ambushing fish or turtles with a lightning-fast attack. Then it would coil around its prey and wait until it died. If Titanoboa were still alive today, almost no animal in the tropical rivers would be able to match it. Imagine a giant snake that could squeeze an American alligator or a mammal as big as a deer until it lost all its strength. It could easily surpass the largest anacondas, Nile pythons, and even the crocodiles that come near it. Because of its incredibly strong grip and massive body, there's no doubt it would be the king of the swamps in modern times. Number 9. Gigantic pliosaur Kronosaurus. In the ancient oceans of Australia, Kronosaurus reigned, one of the largest pliosaurs that ever lived on Earth. According to early estimates, it reached 29 to 33 feet or 9 to 10 meters in length, and its skull was even larger than the skull of Tyrannosaurus rex. It had a short but very powerful neck and 4 paddle-like flippers that gave it exceptional speed when swimming in the seas during the early Cretaceous period. Its jaws were filled with long, sharp, cone-shaped teeth that were perfect for holding onto large prey. Fossils show that it could ambush and crush armored sea turtles and even other pliosaurs. Its bite force is estimated to reach 27,000 newtons, or approximately 6,000 pounds of force. If Kronosaurus were alive today, it would be a nightmare for sharks and other large predators in the ocean. It would swim swiftly in modern seas and would not hesitate to attack large fish, seals, and even whales that cross its path. Because of its powerful flippers and teeth built for killing, it could take down the great white shark and even dolphins. In other words, Kronosaurus would easily surpass the strongest predators in today's seas and reclaim the throne as the true king of the ocean. Number 8. Giant short-faced bear. Known as Arctodus, the giant short-faced bear lived in North America during the Ice Age. It was a true giant. Adult males could weigh approximately 1,800 to 2,000 pounds, or 800 to 900 kilos, and reach up to 5.5 feet, or 1.7 meters tall at the shoulder. It had long legs that gave it speed when chasing prey, extremely powerful limbs, and jaws that could pierce through the thick hides of large animals. Because of this, Arctodus is recognized as one of the largest land predators that ever lived in history. According to studies, it hunted or ate large animals such as deer, ancient camels, and even prehistoric tapirs that lived in vast forests and plains. Imagine if Arctodus was still roaming the Rocky Mountains today. Modern grizzly bears and even tigers would look small next to it. With its size and strength, it could chase and take down a bison or moose, and it probably could also defeat animals even bigger than what any land predator today can take down. For wolves and mountain lions, they could only become prey or just fight over the leftovers. In other words, Arctodus was the true super bear of the ancient forests. If it were still alive today, its arrival at Yellowstone National Park would be enough to make the herds of elk and buffalo nervous. Number 7. Armored fish. Let's go back to the past about 380 million years ago during the Devonian period, which is also known as the Age of Fishes. Here we will meet Dunkleosteus, a giant armored fish with a bite that could put even Tyrannosaurus rex to shame. Based on fossils, it reached about 33 feet or 10 meters in length and weighed almost 4 tons. Instead of real teeth, it had extremely sharp bony plates inside its mouth that acted like giant scissors. When researchers reconstructed its skull, they discovered that it could bite with a force of up to 11,000 pounds force, or about 49,000 newtons. The damage becomes even more severe because the force of the bite is concentrated on its sharp fangs. This is the strongest bite ever recorded in any fish studied by scientists. Its strength is enough to cut through the thick armor of other placoderms, ancient sharks, and almost any creature it encounters in the water. If Dunkleosteus were swimming in the oceans today, it would be a big problem for modern marine life. No sea animal, not even the largest sharks or even orcas, could easily withstand a direct attack from its incredibly powerful jaws. Imagine a creature that could close its mouth on a shark or a turtle as if it were just cutting through thin rubber. With just one bite, the fight could be over instantly. Any large fish or squid that gets too close is in serious danger. In short, because of its thick armor and incredibly powerful bite, Dunkleosteus would be the true king of the ocean food chain, easily crushing and devouring any sea creature that dares to challenge it. Number 6. Quetzalcoatlus. Now let's soar into the skies to meet Quetzalcoatlus, the largest flying animal ever known to science. This pterosaur lived during the late Cretaceous period and had a wingspan reaching 33 to 36 feet or 10 to 11 meters wide, almost as wide as a small airplane. When standing on the ground, it reached about 16 feet or 5 meters tall. It weighed up to 500 pounds or 250 kilos. Although it was very large, it was still light enough to fly. Some say that it could even carry a person, although there is still no solid evidence to prove this. It had a long, toothless beak and was believed to hunt like modern herons, carefully watching rivers and swamps while searching. It preyed on fish and small animals and was also an extremely fast flyer. According to studies, it could fly up to 80 miles per hour or approximately 130 kilometers per hour. If Quetzalcoatlus were alive today, it would surely be the king of the skies. Its wings are much wider than those of condors and eagles, so almost no bird could match it. While flying, it could easily snatch fish or small mammals along the edges of rivers and lakes. When on the ground, its height, almost as tall as 2 people, would give it a clear view of the animals around it. Just imagine it suddenly diving from the sky and snatching a goat or a small pig with its sharp beak. Modern domesticated animals would stand almost no chance against such a giant predator. In other words, as the largest creature to ever fly in history, Quetzalcoatlus would be the undisputed king of the skies, able to surpass or intimidate all predatory birds living today. Number 5. Sarcosuchus. Nicknamed the Super Croc, Sarcosuchus lived around 110 million years ago and was very different from the common crocodiles we see today. Based on the discovered skeletons, it reached about 40 feet or 12.2 meters in length and weighed almost 8 tons, equivalent to the weight of a large truck. It had a massive skull and a long snout, giving it the ability to grab prey as large as small dinosaurs. Based on studies comparing the bite force of modern crocodiles, it is estimated that the bite force of Sarcosuchus reached around 18,000 pounds of force, or almost 8,165 kilograms of force. With just one bite, it could crush bones, and almost no animal could escape once it was caught. Picture a saltwater crocodile's jaws, but much larger and stronger. That was Sarcosuchus, the Super Croc. Researchers say its bite force was many times greater, devastating any animal it bit. That's what Sarcosuchus, also known as Super Croc, was like. It could crush with a force equal to the weight of a large truck. If the super croc were roaming the rivers today, it would have no equal among all living reptiles. Imagine the super croc in today's rivers. It would have no match among all living reptiles. Alligators and Nile crocodiles would look small next to it. Even larger Nile crocodiles would look small compared to it. And even cows or carabaos that come close could be its next victim. Almost no animal in the river, whether a hippo, a young elephant, or even a full-grown wild boar, could escape without being seriously harmed. In addition, its thick skin and extremely strong body would serve as a shield against almost any attack. In short, the Sarcosuchus would be the true king of the riverbanks. All the creatures living there would always have to be on guard because at any moment, they could end up on the Super Croc's menu. Number 4, in short, riverbanks would always have to be on guard because at any moment they could end up on Super Croc's menu. One of the most unique and most amazing predatory dinosaurs that ever lived on Earth. Based on the latest discoveries, it reached no less than 50 feet. In other words, Sarcosuchus was that long? It was even longer than the largest Tyrannosaurus, and lived about 25 million years ago along rivers and swamps. Unlike other large theropods, it spent much of its life in the water. It had a long and narrow skull filled with rows of sharp conical teeth, perfectly suited for catching slippery fish. On its back was a massive sail, while its heavy bones helped it stay stable in the water. It also had powerful front legs with large curved claws like hooks, perfect for grabbing large prey. According to new studies, it could swim and most likely hunted by ambush, like a giant dinosaur that resembled a crocodile. If Spinosaurus were alive today, it would be a nightmare in lakes and rivers. In the water, it could easily catch large fish, crocodiles, and even modern hippos. Even on land, it could still walk, although it might be a bit slow and not as skilled compared to other dinosaurs. But it still had enough strength to quickly snatch goats or large cattle that came near the riverbank. In short, Spinosaurus would be an all-around predator of coasts, rivers, and lakes. Imagine a 50-foot dinosaur like a giant crocodile, something even more terrifying than modern alligators. Because of its massive body and extreme ferocity, it would surpass modern predators like tigers and bears in wet habitats such as rivers, swamps, and deltas. There's no doubt that these places would be the Spinosaurus's own kingdom. Number 3, Tyrannosaurus rex. The list of the most ferocious ancient predators wouldn't be complete without Tyrannosaurus rex, the legendary king of the dinosaurs. The T-Rex lived around 66 million years ago. It reached almost 40 feet or 12 meters in length and weighed around 8 to 9 tons. It had a massive jaw filled with banana-sized teeth, a huge head, and powerful hind legs that gave it strength and speed. But the most feared of all was its bite. According to scientific studies and computer models, the bite of the T-Rex could reach up to 12,800 pounds of force, or approximately 57,000 newtons, the strongest bite ever recorded for any animal that lived on land. That strength was enough to crush thick bones as if they were just thin. Aside from its strength, it also had sharp forward-facing vision and an excellent sense of smell, making it an almost perfect hunter. Imagine if there were a T-Rex roaming the plains of Africa today. Even fully grown giraffes and elephants could possibly become its prey. A single bite or a powerful swing of its tail could bring them down. Lions, hyenas, and even bears would suddenly look like small predators compared to the T-Rex. In other words, almost no animal in today's forests or plains could match it. It would be the true alpha predator. It could attack an entire herd of bison or rhinoceros with seemingly no effort at all. With its size, strength, and powerful jaws, there's no doubt that Tyrannosaurus rex would once again rule the land, just as it did 66 million years ago. Number 2, Basilosaurus. While the T-Rex ruled the land, let's get to know Basilosaurus, the terrifying predator of the ancient oceans. This ancient whale lived around 35 million years ago and reached an impressive length of 50 to 60 feet, or 15 to 18 meters. Although it resembled a giant eel, it was a fully aquatic animal. These jaws were filled with sharp, knife-like teeth designed to slice through the flesh of its prey. Fossils show that Basilosaurus ate smaller whales, sharks, sea cows, and sea turtles. Because of its massive body, powerful bite, and swimming speed, it is believed to have been the top predator in the oceans during its time. If Basilosaurus were to live again in today's oceans, it would likely become the new champion of the sea. A giant predator capable of challenging almost any creature in the ocean. No modern fish or seal could easily escape its long jaws. With a powerful bite, it could even cut a great white shark in half. Even large whales might be afraid, especially when it hunts their young. Because of its long and extremely powerful body, it can swim quickly to chase almost any creature in the sea. It's terrifying to think how dangerous it is. In short, almost any large creature in the ocean during its time could become a victim of Basilosaurus. As the former king of the seas during the Eocene epoch, it would likely reclaim the top of the marine food chain if it were still alive today, and it would change the entire balance of the ocean ecosystem. Number 1. Megalodon. At the very top of our list is the Megalodon, the legendary giant shark that is still feared even today. This gigantic predator swam the world's oceans roughly 3 to 20 million years ago, and its size was far greater than any shark alive today. Based on the latest studies, it could reach over 60 feet or 18 meters in length and weigh between 60 to over 90 tons. To give you an idea of its size, it was even heavier than an African elephant. The jaw of the Megalodon reached about 10 feet or 3 meters wide and was filled with numerous extremely sharp teeth. But what was truly feared was the strength of its bite. According to biomechanical models, the bite of the Megalodon could reach 108,000 to 182,000 newtons, the strongest bite ever recorded in any animal in history. It was truly a swimming tank created by nature to hunt whales, dolphins, and almost all large creatures in the sea. If the Megalodon ruled the oceans today, no animal in the water could stop it. Orcas and great white sharks would probably just avoid it at first sight. Even the largest baleen whales today could be torn apart by its enormous teeth. Some also believe that if it were to ram or bite small sea vessels, it could cause severe damage to the ship's hull. In other words, the Megalodon would still be the unrivaled apex predator of the ocean, capable of devouring almost any large creature it encounters. From a 90-ton giant shark to a 50-foot dinosaur, these so-called ancient predators had features that made even the strongest animals today look small. Their massive bodies, incredibly strong bite, and exceptional hunting abilities would give them a huge advantage over modern lions, crocodiles, sharks, and eagles. If these giants were still alive in our time, the food chain would definitely look very different. The animals we consider the strongest today might just become ordinary prey, while the true kings of the land, sea, and sky would once again be the terrifying predators from the so-called ancient past.